Namaste. Last time we understood and discussed happiness the moment you recognize anxiety, stress is happening for you or happening to you. If it is happening to you, you will definitely be sure that you will enter into anxiety, duality, conflict, problem, etc. But if it is happening for you to change yourself, is happening for me. No, so I don't accept my mind should change. Let me wait, let me see, and the moment you wait and see, it is gone. That is what we saw and understood. So, would you remember all the time anything happening for you or happening for you? Happening to you or happening for you? That will make a tremendous difference. It is all about the knowledge. Eastern wisdom is all about knowledge. Knowledge means understanding. Understanding means awareness. Someone says you are crazy. It is your mind that has to decide, that has to choose whether it is happening to you or happening for you. Oh, in that situation, this guy said that I'm crazy. If it is happening for you, you will say, yes, I'm more crazy than you think. Oh, let me know, let me understand. And I will change my attitude and behavior if you are claiming that I'm crazy. So you maintain that state of the calmness happening for you. But if it is happening to you, you get engaged and involved. How dare he or she says I'm crazy? My life is ruined. I'm a failure. The mind spirals into negativity. Do you see happening to me? Your focus is on problem, negativity, as if you are the victim. But if it is happening for you, then you are seeking a solution, growth, an opportunity. Your mind changes. Any stress, pleasure, duality, attachment, conflict, your mind triggers, your mind has those experiences. Then there is another part in the mind which can instantly become aware whether it is happening to you or happening for you. It is happening to you, then there is a fear, anger, resentment, despair, frustration, failure, etc. But it is happening for you. Curiosity, oh, let me know. Am I really crazy? I told you many a times my student says that, oh, you seem to be crazy. And my instant answer is, then I'm more crazy than you think. Keep on listening to me and I will make you more crazy. What that means, I have taken that in a positive note. Second, deeper inside, because your mind is pure, so you do not get attached to the word crazy, and your mind do not think, how dare one says me crazy. Why? No one can give me a certificate that I'm crazy, I'm anxious, I'm reacting. No one. It is me only. So happening for me and happening to you. There is a very thin line between the two, And that thin line is of awareness, is of understanding, is about your mind. Thin line, you cross this line and you move towards happening to you, or the thin line, you move towards happening for you. In any situation, in every event, in every moment in life. But why it is not happening? Because lot of impurities are still present in the mind. So the mind moves, happening to me, happening for you. But we have to find a solution that my mind, at least in real life situation, should move towards happening for me, not happening to me. So there must be some tool, and that tool is Mangalacharan. Mangalacharan means creating an auspicious space in your mind inside. Because when you create an auspiciousness inside your mind, it will manifest outside, and you are always free from anxiety, duality, and conflict. So the question is how to settle the mind in a happening for me, not happening to me. So our master gives a simple answer. You have to recognize if the mind is the worst master or the mind is the faithful servant. So if the mind is the faithful servant, the outer event, people, relationship do not impact your mind. If the mind is the worst master, because mind takes over the role that I am this, then unending sorrow, problem, and suffering. Mind should not trigger due to outer events. That means mind should not be impacted by anything happening outside. Event in relations, talking to near and dear ones, mind must drop expectations. It should become aware of the attachment and detachment. The mind should perceive everything as happening for me. Every day in the morning, we have to remind, but the mind still forgets it. So, what to do? Mangalacharana, Shanti Mantra, or just you are aware of that Shanti Mantra. What will happen? What will happen? Will be a joy of living. What is living? You wake up, you are living. You're talking to me, you're listening to me, you're living. You're talking to your relations, you're living. Also, the joy of living from the waking state until you retire to the bed. But that joy of living are two types. There are two types of the joy, you can say, in life. No, but I have lot of joys, lot of pleasures from watching the movie, eating the food, and going on a vacation, and a long list, buying a new car. That is only one category of the joy. That joy comes from the objects of the world, people and relationships from outside. From what a beautiful bed I have, I got it, paying thousands of dollars. But, but if you don't get a sleep, what is the use of $1,000 bed? I was looking the advertisement in the CNN, sleep number. Perhaps they say sleep number one. By getting thousands of dollars of bed, can you really get into sleep? Why? That is the first type of the joy. The mind is searching. You can say the mind is searching, mind is obsessed, mind is possessed with an idea, the thought, feeling, and emotions that I will be in joy, full of joy all the time. That depends on the world outside. What is the world? World of objects and people and things and relationship and objects and possessions. That is the first type of the. So what happens? What happens? You think of it happening to you. So what is happening? The pasta gives you the joy. Happening to you. Happening for you. The pasta is a good food and it gives me the joy. I feel a momentary, short term joy because I like it. Impressions, you do not accumulate the impression, but you accumulate the impression. My food is only the pasta. So what happened when you say happening to you? The joy is superimposed by the mind on that object, on that relation, on that person. You are my son, how dare you react to me? Why I say so? Because the mind has a clear expectations and that expectation has an identification. It gets associated, and that is why I get upset. It is happening to me. I am saying the first type of the joy is seeking the joy from the world outside, which I have projected, superimposed on a person, on a relations, on a new thing that I get. So it is happening to me. The mind becomes the master and it will definitely make you crazy, reactive, stressed. So, what is the meaning of a happening for me? I'm not interested in seeking superimposed and projected joy, projected pleasure from anything outside. Am I clear? What do you have to do? I have to remember. Why I forget because of the past impressions, they trigger you again. But what to do? Shanti Mantra. When? All the time. How long? Once it settles into your mind, it lives in the world outside happening for me. Am I clear? Then what happens? You are not into anxiety. There is no stress. They have all gone. It has become the thing of the past. We have a lot of challenges in the modern world. There is a thrill of a new purchase, new possession, new status. Do you see happening? Thrill. Happening to? You have to choose. Happening to you or for you. Imagine someone desperately wanting a new car, the latest model with all the bells and whistles. They finally achieve this purchase. You are self-sufficient, you are rich, so you can have anything. I'm just comparing. So that guy finally achieved this purchase, experiencing a surge of the joy. He feels proud, accomplished, and admired. He drives the car for the first few weeks, is full of pleasure. Forgetting pleasure is not in the car. Pleasure is not the property of a car, it is projected. People notice and I feel elated. I have a new status. That projection superimposition causes the delusion and the delusion of a lasting joy. The joy is tied directly to the external object. What is that? A car. What is that son? What is that relationship? What is that daughter? What is that event? It is known as the pleasure or happiness coming from the world. The world gives me the pleasure. I have that notion, that idea. So it is dependent on something outside. And when it is dependent on outside, it is superimposed pleasure. It is projected pleasure. It will not last long. It comes and goes. And it is short-lived. And the new car wears off. The car becomes just another possession. We have lot of possessions. We have lot of relationships. So it becomes one of the possessions. Perhaps a newer model comes out, making feel outdated. I feel this car is outdated. Maybe it gets a scratch causing anxiety, or worse, it gets stolen. I'm still talking about the joy that we receive from the objects of the world. We know that no object, no person, no event contains the property of happiness. And if nothing in the world contains the property of happiness and the mind is pushing me to go for it, it is because of the past impressions, and those past impressions create superimposed joy and a projected joy which is short-lived, and we get into. Are you getting it? Can you live? Can you understand that? Can you live into that knowledge? But I forget sometime what to do. Shanti mantra. How long? Until the Shanti mantra settles into your mind, that helps your mind to move for you, not to you. Your son knocks the door. Your mind says, this event is happening for me. Your son has come. Very good. Come on. Do you want to have a cup of tea and coffee? But you remain in the state of happening for you. Question of anxiety. You are not inviting any past impression to trigger you. Finished. Let one son make a dance to the tune of the delusion as you have written. Let him do it. You keep on watching. Wait when he comes down. That is all? Or you want to do something more? If he does something more, remain as it is. Wait. He comes. Now one has to stop. So when he stops, thank you. Today's event is done. We will meet again. Thank you. Finished. Can you do that? Yes, happening for you. Can't you do that? You can't do that. Happening to you. When he leaves your house and you keep on thinking. Forget about it. That is the way the life is. High romantic love. I want to give another example. High romantic love, relations and situations. Two people meet, fall head over the heels in love. their head falls over heels in love is attachment, is expectation, is seeking the love that is projected. My mind has already projected that love. I thank you very much. I'm grateful. I appreciate you recognized much earlier the event that you have written to me. I appreciate it. Highly appreciate. And that shows the happening for you, and you saw that that is an event happening for me, and I have recognized and I moved towards it. I moved away from it. So you see that normally it happens to everyone. Two people meet and fall head over heels in love. They experience in the intense joy, feeling complete and understood. A sense of pleasure and a sensuality takes hold of my mind. Mind has become the worst master. So their happiness is entirely wrapped up in this relationship. They are constantly together, their world revolving around each other. How in my thought, in my fantasy. Where is this? Superimposed joy and pleasure. Can you not forget this, my friend? The delusion of permanent happiness. The joy is tied to the relationship and the situation and the person. It is the pleasure coming from the objects or a person. It is dependent on another person and the dynamic between them. The expectation is that this feeling will last forever. Expectation, superimposition, pleasure-seeking mind, attachment in the mind says happening to me or happening for you. You have to choose what I'm explaining. So because of that expectation, because of that attachment in my mind coming from the past impressions, triggers me to continue the relationship because projected pleasure and happiness will last forever. Is it ever possible? You have a mirror, sun is reflected into the mirror, and you see the light is being projected on the wall. Will it last forever? So that mirror is an object. I appreciate, praise. You recognized it. And that very recognition will help you to discover peace and happiness. So the pleasure, superimposition, projected pleasure outside in the world has a temporary value. It has a temporary value. What is that temporary value? That I become the billionaire in the dream. When you wake up, the dream is settled. I say that, oh, that's a dream. False. Illusion. The same way, when I recognize the pleasure and the happiness coming from outside is all about happening, then there is a second category of the joy or happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. It comes from within me. It comes from within you. But why I don't experience it is veiled, covered, superimposed, projected by the expectations and attachment seeking love from outside, happiness from outside. Otherwise, there is an inherent nature of happiness in me, in you. And that inherent nature of the peace and the happiness, we say in Eastern wisdom, it is Sat Chit Anand, absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. It's a joy of living. When? All the time. Where? In all the locations. With whom? With everyone. No, but the other guy in front of me is not, is reacting to me. But you have a flow of that love and compassion. That is why you wrote about your son. You have a flow of love and compassion towards your son. That is why you wrote it. So it is there. Oh, think of it. So, how I have to live? When you are doing the Shanti mantra, you remove that veil of attachment, superimposition, joy. You have to listen to this again and again so that your mind settles into this simple principle. So, the first thing that we talked about, the pleasure coming from the world outside, we have already done it. Where outside is the people, place, possession, relationship, status, etc., etc. Now, the second type, the joy, is it is permanent, it is inherent, it is within me. I am of the nature of real self. What happens then? We are moving there. So, what happens then? So, first scenario, same example, that your mind triggers you to get a joy in pasta you have already projected. You go to the kitchen, you prepare it, you sit down, you are enjoying, you are engrossed it, and you are absorbed 10-15 minutes. In the moment the pasta drops down esophagus, the food pipe, all the pleasure is gone. So, your perception to the pasta, in case you are seeking a pleasure from the world outside. But now we are talking of the second scenario. It is the same mind that has transformed. Now, will you not eat pasta? You will eat pasta. But that trigger, that anxiety of seeking the pleasure from outside is nowhere. And the happiness is inside. Now you cook the pasta, you eat, you see the color, the fragrance and the smell and the aroma. You are eating. You are eating out of happiness. Happening for you. You are eating, your mind declares happening to me. You are attached. Are you getting it? Not only that, you wake up in the morning. For example, you see the orange tree, as if you see that orange tree is sharing its shape and the size and the color. Pasta lying on the plate, sharing the joy by its color, fragrance, and the smell. You recognize it. You are not seeking. Your home, beautiful home, is sharing the calm and the peace and the space by its color, by its design, by its space, because you did it. You have totally a new level of awareness. I told you, thin line happening for me, happening to me. Happening to me. The mind slips here, gone. Mind slips here. You experience the new joy coming from you, not coming from the world outside. It is the same home, it is the same pasta, it is the same car, it is the same David, it is the same son, it is this. We are insensitive to the world outside. The world is full of beauty. The world is full of beauty. We are insensitive. My friend, we are insensitive. We become very sensitive. Why we become very sensitive? We have dropped the projected happiness. We have dropped the superimposed happiness. Where is the secret? The mind must change. What change? I should recognize is the mind acting like the master, it's the worst master. When it is the worst master, it is full of expectations, reactions, trigger, anxiety, duality, and a conflict. When it is the faithful servant, it is living within, it has removed its impurities and the past impressions. It moves with the inner peace and the happiness without any projection. I've already told you that it is all about the very first step of our Eastern wisdom says is the Mangalacharan, the Shanti mantra. In Mangalacharan literally means that we create a sacred space. Where is that sacred space? I gave you that practice in which I discussed that your eyes are closed and you become aware of the place. So it is the material space you become aware. We hardly become aware. There is always a space around our body. We are so much engrossed in anxiety, in duality, in a conflict, in seeking and expectation that I forget that there is a space. There is a sense of independence all around my body. That is why I gave you that practice of place and then position of the body. Even the position of the body. This body cannot live into this world when there is no space. I'm talking about this creating a sacred space. I have to simply become aware. It is already there. The word creation is not a right word. Or you can say, I discover the sacred space which is already present. That is what the Eastern wisdom teaches. Your son comes and he is angry. You have a space. You have a distance. Why don't you get aware of it? You don't get aware, happening to you. You get aware, happening for you. Please write to me if you have not understood. So we use the word, phrase, happening. Now we have to create a sacred space. Now it is already there. I have to notice it, I have to find it out. I have to be aware of that space. So when we say creating a sacred space, your mind is on the surface, acting like a master, and you become aware of beneath the surface where you experience the space all around your body, the position of the body. You further go down, further you go deep inside. Not go down means in a positive way. Going deeper within, you find this body is not acting. So now the body and your awareness, body for you and awareness, you have already created a sacred space at the physical level. Then body and then the breath in this, breath and the awareness, you have created a space You have further created. I told you that there is no creation of this space. So you further go deep inside, breath and the space, mind and the space. In that state, the mind is already dropped all its expectation because its expectations live on the surface. And after, when you see the space, sacred space in the mind, you go deeper. Where? You find the real self. Dear, did you understand? There is always a struggle between the consciousness and the matter. The pure consciousness is the real self. But when this consciousness mixed with the matter, at the outermost level with the body, second level with the energy or the breath, third level with the mind, mind is also a matter, and then we get trouble. We get intoxicated with attachment expectations because I'm not able to see that. And in midst of that, you remember this talk in the discussion and you say, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Your mind simply says, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. So everyone in the world outside finds a situation, event, relationship is different. That is only at the physical level, energy level, mental and emotional level, but deepest inside, it is the same. Happiness is the essence. Everyone is searching happiness. Everyone is searching. Did you find anyone until this time that someone is searching the stress, anxiety, duality, including your son is also seeking happiness by creating a fun around his life? No, is it possible? Yes. He doesn't want to be aware of it that these tantrums will not work. These tantrums is not create happiness, not be able to discover the happiness. So what is the problem? Ignorance. What is that? Lack of self-awareness. You can only move with the compassion and love to those people. Sooner or later they may change. Instead, if the mind starts working to you, you will have expectations. You think that your son should behave like this and create, then you have a problem. Did you understand that what I'm talking about it? That we can create a sacred space by the Shanti mantra. First, you recognize all these four levels. The surface mind, the world outside, full of expectations, superimposed joy and pleasure. Now you move beneath the surface. First, we find the body, place, position. Your aware, become aware of the space all around. Then you move to the second level. There is the energy. So let me see how the energy moves. Energy moves by the sense organ. How the energy moves by the sense organ? Sense organ picks up the object, and now my energy is scattered. And then the third level is the emotional and the mental level, and the fourth level, there is always a space. It is a sacred space. The moment I come in contact with that consciousness or the real self or inner self, whatever you say, a momentary silence, a quietness, a calmness. You return home, you open the door, you sit in your living room. Did you create calmness? Did you create a sacred calmness? It is already there. I have to be aware of that. But I'm more aware of my crazy mind with expectations and attachment. Are you getting it? One master says this same explanation in a different way. They say becoming, being. I mix being with becoming, becoming with the being. Why? It is superimposed, it is projected. Being my your real self. Understood? Now that being filtered by the mind starts expecting something outside for pleasure. So it is a becoming. There is no happiness in becoming. There is no love and compassion in becoming. It appears because of my superimpose and projection. One option and second option, that being, I have recognized my nature. So that being moves into the becoming. That is what we see that Jesus was full of compassion, Buddha was full of love and compassion. He is not seeking anything, he is spreading peace and happiness. So your mind is obsessed and overwhelmed with spreading inner peace and happiness with your son. Will you find your son is creating any problem or you get upset? I'm asking a question. The same explanation is given with the false I and the real. The false I, ego. Ego has a lot of expectation. It is always seeking peace and happiness from the world outside. It doesn't want to change. It sticks to it. It reacts. It is full of anxiety. That is the false I. And the real self has nothing to do with it. It continues to watch the false I. You are playing game with me. I will keep on playing. I will not give you the energy to do it. What is that energy? Superimposition and projection. Of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom outside in the world. So you are not giving an energy to that mind. You recognize the false I, it drops by itself. What happens then? You are in peace and happiness. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. You look at the word, what it means. May there be happiness. Oh, may there be peace for all. For all. Who comes under all? You, me, your near and dear ones, your son, your siblings, the stranger you meet the next day, everyone. May there be peace for all. So I will not create any situation to disturb the peace because I am in peace. That is the meaning, may there be peace for all. That is the meaning of becoming and being. That is the meaning of consciousness in the matter. Interaction between the, how you interact. That is the interaction between the real self and the false I. You want to know more? That is also an interaction between the existence and the personality. What is personality? My behavior and attitude. How I express my behavior and attitude by thought, speech, and action. From where the thought comes from the past memory, projections, superimposition, seeking, attachment, detachment. So that is the garbage my mind contains, and now I am expressing my thought, speech, and action by expressing my particular behavior and attitude while living in personal, professional, social, and family life. What is going to happen? Tell me. One scenario. In the second scenario, it comes from the existence. What is that existence? My real self. What is that existence? It is peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So, what is going to happen? That is the meaning. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So when you say this, do you say, may there be peace for all? Or why are you fighting? People will react to you. May there be peace for all. May there be happiness for all. Do you recognize the moment of compassion there? It is not the property of only the Jesus and the Buddha and other gods and goddesses. It is our property also. What is that? That is the being, that is the pure consciousness, that is the real self. That is what we are learning. So if we create a bridge between the consciousness and the matter, between the real and the false I, between the existence and the personality, it is happening for you all the time. That is the meaning of Mangalacharan. That is the meaning of creating a sacred space. When, where, with whom, with everyone, in all the locations, at all the time. How it happened? How it happened? Don't you know that you are a woman? Do you need to repeat it? No, I don't need to repeat it. It is. I just remember there's something. So when I repeat the Mangalacharan n number of times until your mind keeps that awareness that you are the peace and happiness all the time, leave the practice. You are there. You're saying so easy. Yes, it is easy, and yet it is challenging. So to counter that challenge, we need to practice it daily without fail in the morning, evening before going to the bed, and during the day you just do it mentally. I'm entering into my office. May there be peace for me. Mentally. So now what happens? May there be happiness for all. You are talking to your daughter or an employee. May there be happiness. So you drop down beneath, drop inside yourself, not using the mind which can become the worst master, and you are happy. Is it logical, rational? If it is not right to me, no, it is not possible. But you have to explain why it is not possible. You have already created a sacred space. In the sacred space, there is no question of anxiety, projection. Do you see that point very clearly? I mean to say, seeing is understanding. So that Shanti mantra and the Mangalacharan invoke the higher consciousness, the source of all the being, that aligns with my true nature, my real self. You establish a connection to that higher power, the pure consciousness, and you are free. It can happen in a fraction of a millisecond. Tell me how long it takes you to remember that you are a woman, beautiful person. Tell me. Fraction of a millisecond. Same way, we have to do the practice until we reach to that point of awareness, and the life becomes beautiful. So when we say Mangalacharan, creating a sacred space, we acknowledge the three aspects: being, becoming, and the breath. Matter, consciousness, and the breath. Existence, personality, and the breath. False and the real self and the breath. So that breath, you build that breath from the past, impressions, expectations, and superimposition. No one can protect you, prevent you from getting into anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict, days of disturbed sleep. Reverse. Reverse what Buddha and Jesus did, what we can do it, what we can grow and evolve into it. Don't forget, we started our journey happening, how to translate that into an understanding, that into an awareness, that into peace and happiness. We started with happening for me or happening to me. Happening to me. I'm stressed, I'm into anxiety, I'm reacting, how to manage that anxiety. Happening to me. That breath deeper inside contains an element. It's a very, you can say it's a very bridge. That bridge is very weak because it is built upon delusion. If I'm right, write to me. So we have to understand how many times how many times that ignorant mind causes identification in personal, professional, and social life. That I will take up into the next session. Let us take the third line of the mantra, Shantri mantra. What is that? Do you remember? There is an awareness inside, but the mind is taking the time to recall what exactly is the phrase. That may happen, but the piece is inside, so then even you need not to remember. Now I got it. Sarvesham Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham means what? It means may there be completeness, wholeness, holiness there. So it is not, we are not creating the wholeness. If you create wholeness from the parts. And if it is a part, how it can be whole? So there is already existing the wholeness. What is that wholeness? Is your real self. What is the nature? It is of the nature of peace and happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So the breeze, if the breeze means thought, feeling, and emotion. So now that thought, feeling, and emotion is that it feels the sense of incompleteness to grab something from outside to be happy. The bridge is very big, it is going to break and fall. Where is the falling? Anxiety, duality, conflict, reaction, anger, hesitation, delusion, superimposition, projection. Will you remember the next statement that I'm going to make? Yes, I will make. The real is always one. The false is always many. We are understanding each and every layer of the false because of its projection, because of delusion, because of attachment, because of duality, because of conflict, and causing the problem. I did not understand. Your mind may say, same simple algebra problem. What is 10 plus 10 is 20. Only one thing is real. One calculation is true. Clear? Now, if you come and say that 10 plus 10 is 21, or 25, or 26, or 1 million, or 5 million, or 0, you see, so many false. Real is only one, and that real is peace, happiness, love, truth, wisdom. Where is false? False are so many. I've already counted a couple of them. Are you getting it? Anxiety, duality, conflict, reaction, superimposition, projection, delusion, attachment, detachment, likes and dislikes. We always like to calculate. We calculate. What we calculate? My son plus me is equal to happiness, love, and wisdom. Is it true? Is it true? Forget about the sun. I have a lot of couples attending my sessions, and I simply asked them, oh, you are Michelle? Okay, just for example, you are Michelle. And you are Michael? Yes, I am Michael. So, so I say 10 years ago, when I asked them that, how long you are married, so they say 10 years. Very good, 10 years, okay. Okay, 10 years before, 10 years before, and the moment you met, you said, I said, soulmate, honey, full of love, and I'm just, that, you know what I'm talking about. That was the calculation. It was now calculation, the same two when you plus, what is the calculation? Anxiety, duality, conflict, reaction. Why? That love is hate. Is that love real? Is that love real? You know the answer. I should not say anything. Happening to you, happening for you. This week, consistently live into that state, and I want to see a new level of your consciousness, which turns out to be a new expression of your behavior and attitude, confident, rested, relaxed. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.